Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Victory Monday. I know there's a lot of people that are mad about the Giants win, and I understand why. We know what losses and wins do at this point. But I'm going to be happy about this one. I'm going to enjoy it. It's the third win of the season. Giants are still slotted to pick number 5 in the NFL draft, and anything can happen the remainder of the way. Not yet at the studio today with the New York Knicks tipping off at 8 p.m. tonight. So a little bit later of a day for me. We'll still be going live on the channel in a couple of hours. But I just wanted to hop on cam, hop on the mic, and break down this win. But before we do, I want everyone watching right now, one, to hit that thumbs up icon. Because if you aren't happy, at least about something in yesterday's game, there might be something wrong with you. Hit that thumbs up icon, and I want you to give me your one-word reaction down in the comments section. You guys are always colorful, you're always creative, and you make me laugh when we do these things, and I could use a laugh. So give me your one-word reaction to the Giants win yesterday over the Washington Commanders. For me, it was fun. It was just fun. We had a lot of fun on the live stream yesterday, the watch party. It was just fun yesterday to see guys like Tommy DeVito succeed, to see Saquon Barkley be involved as a receiving back, to see Kayvon Thibodeaux get his 10th sack of the season. We'll talk about Thibodeaux. It was fun to see the defense fly around like their hair was on fire yesterday. That was smash mouth New York Giants defense that we have grown accustomed to over these years. 6 turnovers, 4 sacks. Dexter Lawrence was great. Kayvon Thibodeaux was great. Bobby Okereke forced 2 fumbles. Jason Pinnock got in on the action. Deonte Banks went crazy on Instagram Live after the game, asking did Terry McLaurin even play. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. Let's start, though, with Tommy DeVito. Look, I know what I said about Tommy DeVito, calling him the worst quarterback in the National Football League. And you know what? I would love to be wrong about that. And you know what? I'll say I am wrong because there are a lot of other worse quarterbacks than him. So, Tommy, I apologize, but I will say Mike Kafka called a great game yesterday. You go back, and I don't mean to take this away for Tommy, just came to my mind next. We'll talk about Tommy and what he did. But the ability for Mike Kafka to scheme guys open, to make it easy for his quarterback, was awesome. I've been critical about the Giants and how easy and how hard it's been for them. But they were awesome. They were really good. You go back and watch the tape. There was a lot of plays that were left to be made by Tommy DeVito. He probably could have thrown for 5 touchdowns yesterday and pushed up to close to 400 yards. But he was exceptional. And for an undrafted player to come in behind this offensive line, who we know is bad, and allow 9 sacks yesterday, and be great the way he was. Tommy DeVito yesterday on 3rd down just kept the chains moving. He was 7 of 8 on 3rd down, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating of 158.3. I know we have a lot of Tommy DeVito fans on this channel, and this is a big day for all of you. And I'm happy for you, and I'm glad today happened. Let's get the TDs going in the comments section. Show Tommy DeVito some love. Is he the franchise quarterback? TBD. We'll talk about that later in the coming weeks and months. But let's enjoy this one. Show Tommy DeVito some love. Type D down in the comments section. Saquon Barkley being used. One of the smartest decisions that the Giants made yesterday and that Tommy DeVito made yesterday was to lean on 2-6, to lean on Saquon Barkley. So many times you watch this game, you watch the games and you're like, they're just not using Saquon right. We know how special he is. No matter how you feel about the contract, where I feel it doesn't matter. We know how good that football player is when he's healthy and he steps in between those white lines. And he was used as a playmaker yesterday for the Giants. Not only handing him off the ball, not only on run plays, but out of the backfield. 2 receiving touchdowns for Saquon yesterday. One inside the red zone where he just runs through the line of scrimmage and beats the guy to the pylon. The guy running a wheel route, looking like a slot receiver, catching the fade route, or the wheel route from Tommy DeVito, well-placed ball. Just a lot of fun to see. And I know there's a lot of people that have strong feelings about Barkley and whether the Giants should or should not extend him. Yesterday showed you how impactful he can be as a player. 86 yards rushing yesterday, 40-some yard, 50 yards receiving yesterday, 130 total yards, 2 touchdowns. He was special, man. He was special. Saquon Barkley was awesome. We're going to break down the defense. We're going to talk about Wink Martindale, 6 turnovers. New York Giants football was on display yesterday on the defensive end of the side. But first, I got to make sure everybody is subscribed to the channel. No matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, we're going to get you guys a video as soon as possible. And I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the #1 way to play daily fantasy sports in North America, and you should get started by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS, and if you use the promo code CLNS, Prize Picks will match your initial deposit up to $100. Put $100 in your account, they give you $100 for free. My favorite thing about Prize Picks, though, is how easy it is. Anybody can play. It's that easy. Even Patrick Seatman can play, and we know what he is. And what he's got up here as a Vikings fan. And shambles because of that Josh Dobbs loss. But you just create a lineup of 2 to 6 players and simply choose more or less on their statistics. The more players you have in your lineup, the higher your multiplier and your payout would be. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. Get started today. Let's start with Kayvon Thibodeaux. Look, there was games earlier in the season that left a lot to be desired for Tibbs. But when you take a look back at just what he's done overall this season, it's been truly incredible to see the top 5 pick play like a top 5 pick. Kayvon Thibodeaux yesterday versus the Washington Commanders, 8 pressures, 2 sacks, and he had a 19.5% pressure rate. He now has 10.5 sacks on the season. He's tied for 5th in the National Football League in total sacks. And the last 3 players to have 10-plus sacks over the first 11 weeks of a season within their first 2 years in the NFL. J.J. Watt in 2018, 10 sacks. Micah Parsons in 2022, 10 sacks. Kayvon Thibodeaux, 10.5 sacks in 2023. The New York Giants, they have their edge rusher of the future. He is special. He looks good. He looks healthy. If there's an inferior offensive line out there, the thing that I love about him is he's taking advantage of that. He's winning the matchups. He's getting just that great initial first step that we know he can do. The hand usage is great. He's just showing why he was a top 5 pick, and he's going to be a difference maker for this football team for a long, long time. Hats off to Kayvon Thibodeaux. Good to see him play the way he did. Dexter Lawrence was there as well. He had a phenomenal game, added another sack to his season, and he was in the backfield time and time again. With Tibbs, and as well as Dexter Lawrence, you got 2 more spots to fill. Ojulari's coming back from the injury. We know how special he could be when healthy. Need him to be healthy, but you need to add more this offseason. The Giants need to get back as a defense to being dominant up front with those 4 and win in the trenches. And it was cool to see yesterday that 2 guys that are going to be on this team for a long time were able to do that. Bobby Okereke was excellent. 2 forced fumbles, on his way to have more than 150 tackles this year. A great signing by Joe Shane in the offseason. The Giants haven't had a good middle linebacker like him in Lord knows how long, maybe since Antonio Pierce. But you also got the second-year player, Micah McFadden. The dude is coming on. He's a guy. He makes plays. He gets downhill, not scared of contact. He'll go down there. He'll put his face in it, make plays. Good in pass coverage. The Giants have 2 really good inside linebackers. Xavier McKinney made some plays yesterday. He looked good. I thought X-Man played well, and it was fun to see him play well. Deonte Banks had a good game. No receiver went crazy, really, for Washington. Terry McLaurin won matchup 1. I didn't see as many targets for McLaurin, so I'm going to say that Deonte Banks won that matchup. Went on Instagram Live, talked about how the Commanders could have traded up to pick 16 to get him. You know what? He's just a kid from Maryland that grew up in that area and probably wanted to play for his hometown team. I'm sure we'd all have a chip on our shoulder as well. Did he go about it the right way? Probably not, but he's a kid. It's social media. Shit happens. Not too worried about it. Wink Martindale. There was an article that came out earlier this week that the Giants were expected to release the duties of Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka following the season. And both those guys coached their tails off. We talked about Kafka. People were open. It was a great game offensively. But Wink Martindale, people thought the defense quit. People thought Xavier McKinney quit. They didn't love, supposedly, the locker room, how Wink Martindale went and talked to the media about X. But I'll tell you this much. The team came out. They played their butts off. They ran around like their hair was on fire. And that shows me that they still respect Wink Martindale. They like playing with him. And when you have a defensive effort like that, 6 turnovers, Man, oh man, that's a good way to make yourself look good to John Mara and Joe Shane and potentially bring you back next year. Overall, just a fun day for the New York Football Giants. We'll be live on the channel, breaking it down a lot more. We can continue to talk about this game, and we will later. So subscribe. Giants content will be live. Subscribe. Let's go.